Good morning, students. Today we begin with a new poem titled This Summer Cicada Song by Adi Mamang Dai. First of all, about the author, Mamang Dai. She is one of the leading writers of Northeast region. She is a poet, novelist, journalist, and a non-fiction writer. And she is the first woman from Arunachal Pradesh to be selected for IAS. And later she gave up this prestigious job to become a journalist. Basically, she is from Adi tribe, and Arunachal Pradesh becomes the setting of her writings. Arunachal Pradesh becomes the source from which she draws all her creative resources. She is the recipient of the Mary Elvin Award in 2003 from the state government of Arunachal Pradesh, and in 2011 she was awarded the prestigious Padma Shri. These are her important works. She has a poetry collection titled River Poems, which came out in 2004, and two short story collections, Once Upon a Moontime from the magical story world of Arunachal Pradesh and The Sky Queen. She has written three novels, Legends of Pensam, Stupid Cupid, and The Black Hill. Her works of non-fiction include Arunachal Pradesh, The Hidden Land, and Mountain Harvest, The Food of Arunachal Pradesh. Talking about the features of her works. In her works, we can see an attempt by the writer, by Mamang Dai, to contextualize herself, to place herself within the context of the terrain, and at the same time, we see an attempt to grapple with those contemporary issues confronted by the present generation. In her poems, we see a romantic sensibility which acquires a lyrical dimension, and her works celebrate the nature in its myriad forms in hues and mysteries. All these Northeast poets, they have this close relationship with the terrain and ecosystems of their lands. Generally, literature of Northeast region explores the mysterious ecstasy of diverse flora and fauna to promote ecological sensibilities and also to promote ecological consciousness of its people. In their literature, we see a depiction of the exotic landscape. It gives a glance into the exotic landscape, and it depicts the land which is filled with scenic beauty, with mystery and magic. Their works talk about the legends and myths of the land. They depict the beliefs of tribal traditions, and most importantly, literature from Northeast talk about the preservation of nature. So Mamang Dai is no exception. In her works too, we see Northeast as a pristine world now being invaded by what is known as development or progress. All these poets from Northeast, they share this crisis. The crisis being they are still part of that tradition, and at the same time they have to move along with this modernity. They themselves are part of this modernity as well as the tradition. So their works are suitable for eco-critical studies. We see this symbiotic bond between the poets and nature. And Arunachal Pradesh and Northeast in general, it is a land of numerous tribals. They have this rich history and diversity. Now all those ethnic memories has been lost. It is lost in the wake of modernization with the arrival of modernity. But memories of that rich past arise as cicadas. They have this image of a warrior which symbolizes tribal glory, and the image of warrior actually stands as the representative symbol of the tribal societies in Northeast. So before moving into the poem titled This Summer Cicada Song, we will look into the symbolic significance of cicada. Cicada has symbolic significance in many cultures. Generally, cicada represent personal change, renewal, rebirth, and transformation. Cicada is also a symbol for a musician or a singer since they sing. They are also a symbol of summer and also considered as a precursor to the harvest. You know that the metamorphosis of a cicada is completely different from that of a butterfly. They directly come out of this nymph stage and they emerge out of their skeletons, exoskeletons as cicada. Till then, they live under this terrain, under the land, under the soil. And they normally emerge out of the soil when the soil gets heated up. So it indicates summer and harvest. So that is why they are known as precursors to the harvest. And they are also equally a symbol of virility of earth. In Malayalam literature also, cicadas have been a symbol of regeneration or transformed world. We have this monumental work by a great poet, Vailopulli, which is titled Kudiyurikil, in which he has named the final part of this poem as Cheeveedukalde Paattu. In this part, the social class where the poet also belongs gets defeated in the revolution by the oppressed. But cicadas emerge from the heap of the remains and sing about a golden future of progress after revolution. Basically, cicadas become a symbol of regeneration. And ecologically, it is said that the collective sound of cicadas talks more about the forest health. The collective sound of cicadas act as a very good indicator of forest health. Now we'll move into the poem. This is how it starts. This summer I can sing the songs of the caged warrior, singing to the rough anonymity of trees. And here on these branches I can leave the shell of my armor, like the shells of forgotten words, recalling everything we once knew. So, in the opening stanzas itself, the images of caged warrior emerges. As I said earlier, the image of a warrior is the representative symbol of the tribal societies in Northeast. It is part of the tribal collective consciousness, linking them to a golden past. But now it is a caged warrior. Considering the eco-critical dimensions, it can be due to the onslaught of modernity as well as the invasion of alien cultures. Now the pristine nature and culture is in a state of threat of getting faded away. And cicadas are the balladeers for the nature, singing about the rich past. So here we see a cicada singing, cicada speaking, and it says that I can only sing about those songs of this caged warrior. I can only sing about the rough anonymity of trees, which is not there right now. And I can leave the shell of my armor. So I was in that shell, in that protected car. But now I have only the shells of forgotten words. I can only sing about that forgotten land. I can only recall that forgotten land. It is lost now. And then the poet brings in the motif of time. These are the lines. Time, what is it? It is the symbol of a man who loved cloud and mist, distributing songs. Time, what does it matter? We made flowers and sunlight and bracelets of train distributing songs. So the motif of time comes into the poem. Time flows and making and remaking the world. But it is distributing songs along. All those songs about the rich past, the songs about their glorious heritage. And she asks this question, time, what does it matter? So, as you know, in Indian society, in Indian tradition, time is something which is cyclical in contrast to the linear nature of time in Western thought. We understand that in Western thought, time is seen as being linear, progressing towards future. And for Indians, time is seen as being cyclical, forming a recurring cycle of four ages. So here she asks this question, time, what does it matter? There was a time when we used to distribute songs about our past. So here the poet talks about the flow of time, making and remaking the world. And they used to distribute songs. We made flowers and sunlight and bracelets of train. And we distributed songs. And like cloud and mist, time changes its shape and fade away. And also, she talks about these songs about past. She says that this past is recreated through songs. These are the lines. Now I can sing the bright, crackling words in the memory of songs, begging forgiveness of butterflies and beauty that we destroyed in our hunt for life. So the cicada says, I can only sing the bright, crackling words. I can only use all those broken words. Earlier, she talked about this forgotten words. Now she talks about this broken words. Broken words which come out in memory of songs. The songs are not there now, only memory remains. And the poet is apologetic about the harm done by humans, the beauty that we destroyed in our hunt for life. So here poet herself takes the responsibility. She says she is also one of the culprits. We understand this is something like Janus faced kind of situation. Janus faced is something like a phase which is looking forward and a phase which is looking backward. So basically, cicadas are singing about that past which is now lost forever. The advent of development has uprooted the serenity and beauty of this landscape. And the poet sees herself as the culprit. She says that we destroyed the beauty of this land in our hunt for life. And this is how she ends this poem. This summer, time slanting across the land, time will tell what it means loving from a distance. So, time as a motif comes again. Time has passed over the landscapes and the culture. Just like we enjoy the mountains from across the distance, time also becomes, it takes another dimension embedded in space. We see the mixing up of time and space, time slanting across the land, a strange intertwining of time and space. By remembering the nature and culture, we are seeing the scenery from across the time. There is this element of nostalgia. And she asks this question, by this nostalgia, do we gain anything? And she has no definite answer. She concludes by saying, time will tell. It is in the hands of time to decide what is there for us in future. We have lost that pristine world. Now there is no going back. And they don't have the solution. Only time can reveal the truth. Only time can tell what will be our future. So, this is the ending of the poem. So, basically, Mamang Dai speaks about her beautiful land. She gives out the magical nature, the mysterious nature of her homeland. And we understand that she is an avid observer of the socio-cultural changes of her land. She uses his natural imageries like that of a cicada to paint the socio-cultural changes that resulted in the erosion of this rich tribal values of the land in the wake of modernization. We understand that she has this deep involvement and concern for nature, which is visible in this poem, which makes this poem very sensible and significant. So here ends the poem titled This Summer Cicada Song. Hope it is clear. Thank you. Have a nice day.